Pay close attention. What you're about to see is Bible prophecy being fulfilled.
Welcome to YPN News, bringing you news as it relates to Bible prophecy. Now, Jeff, in this edition, we have two articles, interesting articles, but first we're going to turn it over to our field correspondent, Larry McGee.
That's right. Etan, in the past, we've reported on the extreme weather events, including the massive tsunami that hit Japan a little over a year ago. Now, our field correspondent, Larry McGee, is reporting on the extreme debris from that tsunami that has now traveled all the way to the shores of Alaska.
Wow.
Larry?
Thanks, Jeff. Though out of the spotlight for some time now, Japan was back in the news this week as CBS covered a story detailing the increasing amounts of very large debris washing up on the Alaskan shores connected to the devastating tsunami which ravaged the Japanese people last year. Approximately 5 million tons of debris was swept into the sea as a result of that tragedy, including cars, houses, boats, and just about every other thing imaginable. Over a period of 14 months, the currents and winds have transported some of the debris as far as 4,000 miles, and Alaska is the first place being hit. But according to analyst projections, the Alaskan shores are only and just the beginning of it. CBS's John Blackstone, chiming in from Seward, Alaska, walked a beach littered with fishing tackle, plastic, and large pieces of foam insulation believed to have once lined Japanese buildings as he interviewed Chris Pallister, who leads several work crews responsible for beach sanitation. According to Pallister, the influx of debris is only the first wave of what's expected, but it is larger than anything his work crews have ever had to experience. And in observing the magnitude of the wreckage from a helicopter overhead, his emotions went from his initial feeling of shock to wanting to cry and holding back tears. Concluding, Blackstone displayed a rather interesting piece of debris from the wreckage, a medium-sized plastic gas container, hollow, perfect for floating, and a prime example of the tons of debris now making its way across the ocean and threatening to hit beaches all along the American West Coast. For YPN News, I'm Larry McGee. Etan, Jeff, back to you.
Thanks for that report, Larry. Etan Patz is arguably the most famous missing child of New York City. Before Etan Patz went missing, most parents thought their children were safe in the neighborhood, and most police couldn't be bothered to quickly search for a lost child. His disappearance both shocked America and changed America.
His disappearance helped spark the missing children's movement, including new legislation and various methods for tracking down missing children, such as the milk carton campaigns of the mid-1980s. Now, Etan was the first ever missing child to be pictured on the side of a milk carton.
As reported by CBS News, Ernie Allen is the country's leading authority on missing children. Allen said the 1979 Patz case, followed by the 1981 murder of 6-year-old Adam Walsh in Florida, led the country, Congress, and President Ronald Reagan to take action. Missing children began to be entered into the FBI crime database, and Allen's agency, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, was created to help the police.
Today, when a child disappears, police take an immediate report. There's an immediate distribution of a child's photo and information. That mindset change from wait and see to urgent response helped lead to the Amber Alert system on the nation's billboards. It led to companies like Walmart posting pictures of missing children in their stores.
Now, Etan, nearly 800,000 children are reported missing each year. That is an average of 2,185 children reported missing each day. Of those reported missing, more than 200,000 children were abducted by family members, and more than 58,000 children were abducted by non-family members. Either way, it shows a serious breakdown and failure of the family structure.
800,000 children.
Each year.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, now we look over to our next story. For the past 20 years, men have been hearing the message to get a PSA every year or two, detect prostate cancer early, and save your life. One doctor, Dr. Michael Lefevre, is one who's going against the intellectuals in the field of medicine. Dr. Lefevre led the panel that revealed this message was wrong. He said in a recent interview with CBS News, in contrast to the small benefits from the PSA test, a significant number of men will be harmed by the test and treatments that follow prostate cancer screening.
The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force stated the PSA is unreliable and the test gives false negatives 80% of the time. In fact, prostate cancer is usually diagnosed in older men, and the disease typically progresses so slowly that men usually die of something else. The panel is among the most influential in the country. It cited an 11-year study where it observed over 180,000 men.
Now, that particular study showed that over 1,000 men needed to be screened to detect 37 cancers and prevent a single prostate cancer death.
A single death.
Just one. Now, the options for men with prostate cancer are radiation, surgery, hormones, or simply observing. The side effects of the treatments include urinary difficulties. Now, Dr. Lefevre said the consequences can be even worse. He said, we typically find that 2 or 3 men out of those 1,000 will have serious complications such as heart attack, stroke, blood clot, or even death.
Now, that recommendation was met with resistance and outrage from the American Urological Association, who said that it was inappropriate and irresponsible. Dr. Herbert Lepore, the head of urology at NYU Langone Medical Center, said in a recent statement that he didn't believe that the medical evidence in any way supports this conclusion, and that PSA has led us down the road to decreasing prostate cancer deaths, and we all realize that we have a long way to go, but the last thing that we need to do is turn back now.
Well, Dr. Lefevre said in an interview also that we're taught to fear cancer, this is what he said, and that our only hope is early detection and treatment. Now, for both doctors and patient alike, he said it's difficult to accept that some cancers don't need to be discovered and some cancers don't need to be treated. Now, for those who might be asking, what about a family history of prostate cancer? Lefevre said, it's recommended that you consult your physician and discuss the options that is best for you.
Etan, with 80% false positive results, it sure seems like these screenings are designed more for making money than helping these men.
Sounds like the love of money chasing after sorcery.
Up next is Yisrael Hawkins. Stay tuned as he enlightens the world, including yourself, with his teachings. From all of us here at YPN News, I'm Jeffrey Heimerman.
And I'm Etan Alexander.
Thanks for joining us.